All right, guys. So again, we're running. What we got? One, two, three, in the fourth week of this month, new month, January. So what I want to talk about is maintaining, obviously, motivation, or how to keep that motivation going. Because to be really transparent, not everybody's going to be motivated. That shit doesn't work, guys. I'm not motivated all the time to get my workouts in, but I know the the end result, right? What I desire, what the outcome is. Just like anything else, on some of these habits that become part of what you do, is you're not always going to be motivated to do shit. You just got to do it, right? Because action is going to get you the end result. So anytime you're feeling unmotivated, if you take action towards something, whatever you need to do, if you take action, it's going to build that component of motivation. So you got to make motivation happen, because sometimes you're not going to be motivated. So when you start feeling, and this is a time of season, it's cold as shit. Weather sucks. We're in Indiana. That's why, Arizona sounds good right now. But, we can go into seasonal depression. So we got to fight that component. How you fight that, right? Working out's going to be number one. So if you can get your workouts in, that's going to help. It's going to keep you motivated because you're going to feel better, right? It's going to manage the stress. So what you want to do is, instead of saying, I need to work out, say, I'm a person who prioritizes my fitness. I do work out. I make my workouts happen. I eat healthy. I eat well. I control my stress. I sleep well. I manage to sleep well. I manage my stress well. So reframe the language around these components, obviously. And what it does is it's going to create that component of who you are. Instead of a habit, you will actually do it. Obviously, rely on systems and tools too, and your coach. So sometimes, willpower, do you have willpower? You do. You have the choice to do this or that, right? You can do both, but make sure you choose the right one, right? The one that's going to get closer to your goal. That's why goal setting is so important. So obviously, being prepared is always going to be key. Sometimes you don't want to prepare, but when you prepare, everything else is easier. What I'm saying there is, if you have your meal preps in place, do you have the food in the house? Are you scheduled for your workouts? Do you have all your gear together? So obviously, you want to build those within who you are. So, and then, create the wins, track progress. This is why the app's so important. Get that data in there. I know it can be cumbersome or a pain in the ass, but when you put that data in there and you can look back and you have that data, okay, it gives you some insight of what you're doing and where you're progressing to. So, and then sometimes you want to reframe the why. Okay, why is this important? Or you want to dig on that component a little bit. So, and then automate things when possible. Make it simple. You don't have to make it complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. We complicate things. I think we cause problems and complications sometimes just to have them. And sometimes you have to do internal work to let that shit go and move on. So you may have to, identify if you're creating some of the problems. If you're creating some of the problems, dig on that. Okay, what's the emotion around it? What if I learned what that emotion is, and learn why I'm creating that problem, and then let it go and move on, typically you won't repeat those components, okay? Because you understand, and your mind knows that sometimes you create those, and then if you see those things come up out in whatever you do, whatever you're doing, you can analyze it, take it in, and then let it go and move on. And so that way you're not stuck in that cycle or trap. Embrace imperfection, man. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to get close enough. So I always say, what 20% of the focus or work you need to do to get 80% of the results? Remember that, because sometimes we create and have to do all these other things, when if we would have just focused on the 20%, it's going to get us the 80% result. And then obviously, environment's important. I talk about this a lot with you guys. Surround yourself with the right environment. Obviously, being in this type of program, I'm going to give you some of the tools and things that you need to be successful. But also, what environment are you creating at home? who you're around, who do you need to be around to change some of the habits or how you're showing up, right? So that way you're growing as an individual, you're showing up and being the leader you desire to be. And then mental resilience. So you just have to have the mindset that I'm going to get the shit done no matter what, right? I'll figure it out no matter what, right? So your mental component, because we're not always going to have motivation. Motivation really doesn't exist. We create it. So just think of it that way. Just want to shoot this quick video with you guys. I will keep dumping these down weekly. I want to talk a little bit about motivation because a lot of people lose it right now. You got to create it. You got to show up and do the work. Okay? Doesn't have to be hard, but you have to change and identify who you need to be successful in that process. So go create your own motivation, guys. I'll talk to you soon.